Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're just going to have a little chat, a little ramble about just the channel, life in general, just a little vlog thing. So, firstly, there's a few things to get through. This might be a bit disorganised, but I'll try and make it as logical and flowing as possible, and I'll try and remember to put some timestamps in the description in case it's not. So, right. Firstly, this week, I can't tell whether I am accurate in my belief that actually the videos that I put out this week were not up to the already low standard of this channel, or whether that's just me being overly negative currently. The start of the week was not great. On Monday we had to say goodbye to our family dog who we had for 7 and a bit years, Bingo, who was a lurcher, a border collie cross whippet, so made entirely out of muscle and speed, and very intelligent enough to pick stuff up if she really wanted to learn how to do stuff, and also intelligent enough to ignore you if she didn't like what you were saying. We had her for 7 and a bit years. My daughters, who are 3 and 5, they have known her to be around, for their entire lives, and she had to be put to sleep on Monday, which it just sucks. There's no other way of really phrasing it, and it set the tone for the week, and I feel that the videos that I put out this week have been more negative than usual, even more low energy than usual. I'm not a particularly high energy person as it is, but I don't know, I just didn't feel like they were up to snuff, and I don't know whether that is because they actually are, or whether that's just because of how I'm currently viewing everything, really, due to the way the week started. It's very difficult to tell. So if they were naff, then I'm sorry that they were naff. That was not the intention. And if they weren't, then I'm I don't know. I'm sorry for assuming that they were when actually they were fine. Who knows? That's kind of, it's just been a bit of a difficult week, to be honest, which I guess kind of leads me neatly onto, that's why. You think you've got every mosquito in the room, but then there's always one hiding. There's always one, perched behind somewhere waiting for you to forget that it's there. Ow, no wonder. I've been wondering why that's been itching so much. That leads me neatly, not at all neatly, because I spoiled the segue by noticing I've got a mosquito bite on my neck. I'm taking next week off. I'm just not going to be here. I'm not going to do anything on the channel. I've already recorded some videos to go live because my stupid little break that I had to take not that long ago, the 2 weeks where my jaw was, my mouth was wrecked because broken tooth that then had to be removed, which split part of my gum and part of the roof of my mouth, and then I had to get shards that were left taken out, and that wasn't a holiday, that wasn't a break, it wasn't relaxing, it wasn't fun, it wasn't interesting, it was just 2 weeks of I really need to do stuff and I can't, and this sucks, and eating so much soup. Fed up with soup. Soup's terrible. Never eaten soup again. That doesn't count. I am taking next week off. If something massive or magnificent or catastrophic or terrible or just middling happens, we'll deal with it the week after, because I'm not going to be doing anything next week. I have already recorded videos for the channel. I felt like I needed to do that because the 2 weeks that I had to take off due to my mouth being all messed up, that massively impacted the channel. That wrecked it, to be totally honest. The kind of subscriber gain has just been down really badly. It was starting to recover, and then it just got worse because of those 2 weeks. Videos are not being pushed to sub feeds as they should. They are not hitting recommended lists as much as they should, and it is because I took those 2 weeks off. I had no choice over it, which is the frustrating thing, but that's just how YouTube works. YouTube wants you to just do something every single day, and if you take any time off, it will punish you for it. And that's just the situation that I've found myself in with the channel itself. So next week we've got a few different videos. We've got on Wednesday, Friday and Sunday we've got Chaos Demons range review videos. So Zinch, Korn and Nurgle. I'm going to do the Slanesh one when I get back. Monday, with any luck, there will be a video covering something that isn't Games Workshop based, because I don't know. I think I'm reading the room correctly today, especially over the last 24 hours. What with text-to-speech being on indefinite hiatus, which, if this is the way you're finding out about that, I apologise. I'll put a link in the description to Alpha's video. Watch it. I will not remember all of the information, so you need to watch that so you get the full picture and know exactly what's going on. But yeah, I think as a kind of indication as to how things are going to work kind of in the future for this channel, we're going to cover something not Games Workshop, and we're going to be doing that increasingly as well. We're going to be looking at other miniature manufacturers, we're going to be looking at other games, we're going to be looking at other stuff, not least because my interests are also expanding. It is partially because of the IP guidelines changing, but it is also because my overall kind of feeling towards especially miniatures and kit bashing and doing stuff with models, it's been slowly but steadily expanding out past Games Workshop anyway. And so it's all stuff that I find interesting and enjoyable, and as such, it's stuff I want to talk about, and it's stuff I want to show you guys. So I will. I suppose that in turn leads us fairly neatly towards a question that's come up quite a lot over the last couple of weeks since we covered the change to the IP guidelines, which is a lot of people seem to be under the impression that I somehow believe myself to be immune to all of this, that it's just a case of, oh well, Games Workshop have shut down fan animations, but I'm good because I'm good. No, the reason I haven't addressed that and the reason I haven't talked about it much is because it's a little bit more grey, because what Games Workshop say and what Games Workshop do are not necessarily the same when it comes to this type of channel, like when it comes to websites that cover their stuff as well. You see, when it comes to the fan animations, it's fairly clear. They've told channels to turn it all off, to get rid of videos, to stop monetization, to set things to private, to cease and desist, all of that stuff. And it's all because of Warhammer Plus and their own animations, and yeah, it's pretty clear cut. They have a zero tolerance policy towards fan animations now. Now the thing is, when it comes to things like, as they phrase in their guidelines, fan sites, you can't show rules, you can't show stats, you can't show official Games Workshop product, all of that stuff. That's what they say. What they do is something totally different. What they do is provide that product to channels like this one. Not this one specifically. I don't get anything from Games Workshop. They don't give me now. But there are other channels that do similar things, and they receive products directly from Games Workshop. They have a department for that. They have advertised. When was it? Was it 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks ago? Or was it 1 week ago? From what I've heard, and from a job listing that I can't remember when it went up, they looked to be expanding that. To actually, they are encouraging interaction with influencers, to send codecs and boxes and rule, like, campaign books and stuff. So what they say is you can't show this stuff, you can't do anything with it, but what they do is send the products with all that information out for people to review it. That's why I haven't talked about it. It's not as clear cut. It's so much more grey, and I'm not saying that from a kind of like a vague hope of, oh, maybe they'll leave me alone. No, I'm saying it because I have no idea which way it could go. I mean, it could go nowhere. It could be that they will carry on as normal, and as such, this channel and others like it, not a problem, absolutely fine. They could suddenly decide to go scorched earth and wipe everyone out, in which case that would be bad. But I don't know. I've got no idea, and neither does anyone else. And so constantly going over it and talking about it and being like responding to every comment and going, well, actually, I don't think anyone has enough information, like concrete 100%, to make a call either way. We've just got to wait and see what happens. I'm happy to do that, but I'm also not just going to sit here and do nothing. I'm not going to shut everything down preemptively and just never talk about Games Workshop again, but I'm also not going to just cover Games Workshop, and I'm also looking at doing other things as well. So that's why I haven't really talked about that, because I just don't know how it's going to go. I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where they're going to take things, whether they're going to change anything at all, how reliable their interactions with other things of this nature are. By all indications, it seems that they want to continue on with the whole influencer marketing thing. They want to send people codexes and products to review, in which case, probably all good. If they suddenly stop doing that, maybe things will change, but I'm in a position where kind of got to wait and see, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not being negative or positive about it. I'm just waiting and watching and talking to people and already, deciding to shift and cover other things as well. At the very least, that way, if something were to happen, there would be other things that we can talk about. There'd be other videos to make, other things to enjoy, other hobbies to discuss that are related but not the same. Things like 3D printing that I really need to actually do something with. Yeah, that's that, I guess. I suppose in a way that also kind of neatly leads us into the future. So as I say, there's a few other things I want to cover. There's other manufacturers that I want to talk about. There's other models that I've had some experience with. There's other games that I want to play. And so we're going to start doing that because it's all part of the hobby. It's all part of stuff that I do. And, you know, the channel is based off the stuff that I enjoy. So why not expand out to things that I enjoy that aren't Games Workshop? We've done it before. We will continue to do it. There's plenty of other... I say plenty, not anywhere near as many as I'd like, but there's, you know, videos covering other stuff on here, and that will just continue, and if anything, just happen with more frequency. So that's kind of the plan. I also have something kind of big, actually, potentially, that I'm really looking forward to sharing more information about, that I can't really talk about all that much just yet, because we need to iron out some details. I will say that it is a narrative project, that it is something totally separate from Warhammer, from 40k, from Games Workshop. It is I was going to say an original creation. That's probably not fair. Is anything really original anymore? It's... If you would like to use the descriptors grim and dark, then you could use it to describe it, but it's not 40k. It's also not just me. It's something that I'm doing with someone else. Someone that you guys... I'm pretty sure the vast majority of you very much approve of. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to talking more about that when we've got a bit more to go on. But there's quite a bit of prep work to do before we properly announce it and before we properly start sharing information about it. But there is something coming up that is very different. It's very different to what I do on this channel. It will be on its own channel. It'll be its own separate thing, I think. And yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you guys that, because I would hope that you really like it. Oh, the final thing is the painting video, Long Road Miniatures, that I started. This is going to sound really weird. I had an idea for doing that because I was fed up of putting stuff on this channel and it kind of tanking the views for the next few days and affecting the kind of overall stats. And lots of people say that they want to see the hobby that I do, but then when I actually show the hobby that I do, a fraction of the audience actually watches it. And it was starting to get me down a bit, and so I thought, well, I'll start a separate channel and I will put the stuff on there, build it up as its own separate thing, a little bit of a different feel to it. Put a few videos up there, had a bunch of technical issues with the equipment that I use, and haven't done anything with it since. And largely that has come down to out of sight, out of mind. It was a mistake. It was actually a mistake. Firstly, letting slightly lower views dictate where I put videos is a terrible idea, because I should just do it because I enjoy it, and I've come back to that realization now. That's how the rest of this channel operates. Why I thought that should be different for painting videos is completely beyond me, or at least kit bashing, modelling, painting, all that stuff. Don't know why I decided that was the way to go for that when it's not applied to anything else I've done. Just dumb, really. Having a separate channel instead of having it in front of me all the time whenever I log into YouTube was also a bad idea, because it felt separate. It felt like something totally different that there was more pressure to do with because it was different. It had to have something done now, otherwise what was the point? Which is not how... That's not how I find motivation at all, especially when it comes to something like that. Like, that is the... This channel is about my hobby. The painting and converting channel, it's like the physical parts of that. It's like actually showing how I do it. The pressure of making sure I record all of that immediately made it so much more difficult to want to record it. Because what if I messed it up? What if I screwed it up? What if I had to start all over again? And what if I, started converting something, but then the camera shut off, which happens so many damn times. It just made it more stressful and made me not want to do it as much, which, again, completely defeats the purpose of it. That channel is going to be repurposed. The videos that are on there are going to be re-uploaded on this one. I'm going to change the the bumpers on either end so that they're more in line with this channel. Yeah, I'm gonna... That channel's gonna be repurposed. I've already got it. It already exists. It's already got its unique URL and all that stuff. So I am going to use it for the upcoming project that I can't show all the details on yet. I think that's going to be the way to go for that. I am going to cover stuff that I've done in terms of hobby things. In fact, a good example being this freak here. So the 2,000 point Soulblight Gravelords Monstrosities army that is based on hallucinations and just general kind of folk horror type things. I am going to be doing videos on these, but they're going to be on this channel. They're going to be on this channel where they should have been in the first place. And they're going to remain on this channel. And anything to do with models and miniatures are going to go on this channel, because that's where I should have kept them to begin with, and I shouldn't have let myself get so obsessed with the idea of not tanking the numbers for a couple of days, or, you know, so kind of concerned with what was the right bit of hobby to put on here. Because it all should go on here. It just should all go on here. And from now on it will. So, yeah. That's what's going to happen with that. An experiment. A failed experiment. One that I think at the time made sense, but in hindsight, you know, in retrospect, I shouldn't have bothered. Should have just kept going, kept putting stuff on this channel, and just building that up as opposed to trying to start something new just because slightly lower numbers are a thing. I mean, who cares? Who cares? Why did I let myself care? That's the question. No idea. But going to rectify that and it'll be fine. So I think that's it. I think that's pretty much everything. I'm going to stop it there because this is very, very rambly, and I will see you when I get back from my break. Hope you have a good week.